Hey, what is up, everyone? Chris, the Thrift Shop Hustler, and another What Sold on eBay today. I want to thank everyone who is here. Definitely go down there and click the subscribe button. We're almost at 6,000 followers, subscribers here on YouTube, so I really thank everyone. I think we're like 3 away, so if you're not following, subscribing, definitely go down there. Click the bell for notifications. What this show is, basically, I go over what I sold on eBay today and go over a little bit of the kind of knowledge that goes into some of these products. Some of these things you might not even have heard of, and the main point of this show is to actually show you some of the different things that you might have been overlooking over the past years or 2 or 3 or 4, and definitely maybe the next time you go on a garage sale or a thrift shop, you'll see one of these items and be like, oh, I remember that from Chris's show. Anyways, anytime they're in this video, if you appreciate what I do, definitely click the like button. You can click the like button right now if you want. That helps out a great deal. But yeah, we're almost at 6,000 subscribers, so really appreciate it. If you're not subscribed, do that. Let's get right into it, shall we? Today we have this old vintage Rapido Graft lot collection. These are actually technical drafting kind of pins. And I saw this at a thrift shop. It was in like a little bit of a bin, and it was all bundled together. I think I paid like $2 or $3 for these. And what really struck out to me were these calligraphy pins. Old calligraphy pins do very well. Definitely look out for those. I saw these, and then these were piled up underneath it. So, you know, I got the whole thing for about $2 or $3. I don't quite remember. And these are pins that pens that you fill in with ink, and when I opened some of these, they were brand new. As you can see here, this is a brand new. This one had ink in it. These were brand new. These two, of course, had ink in them. And so you just have to let the people know when you're doing a description on these that, you know, some of these have been used. Some of them were new. Each one of these colors represents a different size of the pen tip. So, you know, there was very super fine to very wide. Surprisingly, some of the ink in this thing was actually still liquid. There was no ink inside any of the pens, thankfully, and some of these ones actually were kind of used, and some of these were brand new. Anyways, I think I took a best offer for 50 something on this. I had this listed for 74, paid about $2 or $3, so it was definitely a nice pickup. So if you're out in the field and you see some old calligraphy pins or any kind of drafting pins or something like that, and you can get them for a cheap price. Even if you can get them super cheap, pick them up. Some of these are worth a pretty good amount of money. Next up, we have these Revo glasses from the 90s. I saw this at our local thrift shop. They have like a sunglass bin. You know, it's like most, I think Goodwills, they have sunglass racks that usually just have, you know, bootleg or just, you know, cheap sunglasses. The thrift shop that I go to has a basket of sunglasses that are usually in cases, and they ask for only about $2 each, and I found some really amazing sunglasses in there. So that's one of the spots I usually hit up when I go there. I check the sunglass bin. Well, luckily I found these. The name stuck out, and then I looked them up when I was there. I was like, oh wow, some of these actually go for hundreds of dollars. This one sold for $89.99 plus $3.99 shipping. I paid about $2 for these. They were super mint condition for being the 90s. Someone must have wore these maybe a couple times and then put them away and then donated them. And that usually happens. So look out for these kind of style glasses. They're 90s style wire frames. And as a matter of fact, I think this one actually had some. I think these were actually chewed up a little bit on the ends. Yeah, right there. And they still sold for 80 something dollars. So definitely go and just look up sunglasses if you see a brand that you're not familiar with. Next up, we have this New York convention, New York Comic-Con convention, Joe Namath Pop Custom. I made a bunch of customs for the Tenacious Toys booth, and they sent me back whatever didn't sell. So I ended up, I think I took a best offer for 70 something on this one. But anyways, I listed it for $89.99. The figure itself cost about $10, and then I repainted it and made him look all muddy and stuff. Let me see if I can see a photo of this. See, I made him look all muddy. I put the cape on him and things like that. And then, you know, like, this is some of the stuff I've done before. I go by the artist name Evilos. I used to do that for years and years and years. As a matter of fact, I kind of semi-retired in that kind of whole thing. And so this sold really quick, and I think this was the last one. The other 4 of them sold at the Comic-Con convention. So yeah, pretty much private label. We've talked about that before. Next up, we have this 1930 yearbook, Pravi High School, Maywood, Illinois. I bought this. I found 3 of these actually. They were like 31, 32, and 30, I think, 1930. And I paid like $3 for these at a Goodwill. And I always buy yearbooks when I find them cheap enough. And usually you'll find yearbooks at garage sales and things like that. But, you know, sometimes every once in a while you'll find these at Goodwills. And these honestly stick out like a sore thumb. What was crazy about these ones, that they actually had a lot of signatures in these. Anyways, I think I had these on sale for $9.99, and they all sold. One gentleman bought them. And so, you know, there's a lot of... Here's the thing about yearbooks. Yearbooks are very hit and miss. Yearbooks from the 80s and 90s do pretty well. I mean, not super well. I mean, if you can get them for $1 or less, you should buy just any yearbook you can find. When you're buying yearbooks for $5 to $10, that's a little on the crazy side, especially if they're older, because usually older yearbooks in the 30s, 40s, 50s, a lot of those people are deceased, and so there's not a demand for those to be per se, especially like these. Older yearbooks that have famous people in them, and then that's going to also take some research. So if you ever find a yearbook and you buy one, there's lots of places online you can Google, you know, the year and whatever, and see what celebrities went to high schools, and you can look at that. Like I think some of the highest price yearbooks are like if like Elvis Presley or Marilyn Monroe or James Dean or those kind of people. If you can find like those kind of yearbooks, or even I think they even have them in like junior high and stuff like that. Those are the yearbooks that usually go for a lot of money. Famous, like really famous people, legendary famous people is what to look for. I think the James Dean yearbooks go for like $2,000 or $3,000 or something ridiculous like that. Anyways, there's a whole market in yearbooks. 80s and 90s do pretty well because a lot of the people are still alive and looking for those type of things. But you're not going to make a ton of money on yearbooks. Just be very cautious. Like I said, if you can source them for a super low price, that's a whole other story. You should probably pick them up. I was sitting on these for a while. Next up, we have these stainless steel aluminum clay tools. I find a lot of tools at garage sales and things like that. It's one of the things that I'm not like super keen on, but I knew exactly what these were when I saw them. I knew that they were sculpting tools as usually used for clay and stuff like that. As a matter of fact, I probably should have kept this set. I got this for $0.25 at I think it was a garage sale, and literally brand new. These are actually really good tools. And just ended up putting them up and got $14.99 plus $2.99 shipping. And I tried looking up this crystal clear. This wasn't even a brand, like, so these must have been from China or something like that. They were like, but they were high quality. They're aluminum, stainless steel. These things aren't going to rust. When you're dealing with clay, you know, you deal with a lot of moisture and things like that. So just keep a lookout for kind of tools, brand new tools like this. Next up, we have this Martin D. Mummert candy cane 3-cent Christmas metal sign. Now, this wasn't a super old sign. You might think, oh, it looks like it's from the 50s or whatever, but it's actually a newer sign made to look like an older sign. And when I first saw this, when I bought it, I think I paid like $3 for this at the thrift shop. And I had to buy it. As a matter of fact, I almost kept this for the Christmas decoration stuff because it is really cool and unique. And then when I looked up this Martin D. Mumford thing, he does a lot of old vintage style looking signs, and some of them actually go for a pretty good amount of money. Anyways, this sold for $23.99 plus $11.99 shipping. This thing was a little bit of a pain in the ass to ship because it was kind of like a large square. And I want to give a huge shout out to one of the subscribers who suggested you can go to the 99-cent store, I guess, and buy like poster board, and then you can just basically just put this inside of poster board and then tape 2 poster boards together, and you got a shipping thing. So that was actually an amazing idea, and so thank you for that. Next up, we have this Dodgers bobblehead. I had these listed during the World Series, and we had some interest in these, but no one never pulled the trigger for $19.99. So I think I took a best offer for $13 on this. I paid $3 at a local thrift shop. Bobbleheads are definitely hit and miss. If you can source bobbleheads for $3 or less, just pick them up all day. Just remember that they're made out of this really cheap plaster. So just make sure, you know, if you don't just buy a whole collection of bobbleheads and assume they're all mint condition, you'll be surprised some of the ones you'll open up and see that there's an arm missing, or a leg's broken, or a bat's broken. These things are pretty delicate. Well, they're not super delicate, but they're made out of this weird plaster, so they break fairly easily, like a resin plastic plaster thing. So anyways, definitely just be careful with that. If you can look these up, if you have the time to look these up, look up every single bobblehead you find. There are some bobbleheads that go above $100 that are like 10 years old or younger. So there's some really rare bobbleheads that were given away at sports events that you'd be like, you would kind of think, oh, this is not worth anything, but you look it up and you're like, oh wow, this is $80, this is $60, this is $50. That is very common to find bobbleheads that are worth above $25. So like I was saying, if you can source these for under $3, definitely do that. I think I paid $3 for these. I bought 3 of these, and I basically sold all 3. I just sold my last one today. Anyways, this has been Chris, the Thrift Shop Hustler. I really appreciate you guys tuning in. I got my P11s on, so the audio should be a little better. I don't know what happened to my other headphones. They were junk anyways. I'm glad to have these back. For anyone that's looking for some good quality headphones, these P11s, they're older, but you can hear the audio is super amazing. Once again, I'm Chris, the Thrift Shop Hustler. Please subscribe, man. We're almost at 6,000 followers. Let's get to 6,000 followers by next week. And we'll see you next time. Take care.